box a southpaw. Everybody who's a southpaw wants to learn how to box the opposite stance. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna give away all the secrets. We're gonna teach you so many great things, man. And luckily, we got a guy right here who can box both stands, orthodox and southpaw, and fast in the chambers. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna learn a lot. You guys made a very wise decision. So let's not waste no time. Let's get right into it. Yo. Big fight weekend, man. What's going on, everybody? Need y'all to come talk to me, man. We got a lot to talk about. Big fight weekend. We got a new heavyweight champion. Man, there's so much that I saw in that fight that I want to talk about, man. But I definitely want to hear you guys' opinion. You know what I mean? But man, I don't know how many of you guys were shocked. I'm not gonna say I was shocked, but I was impressed. Put it that way. I was impressed. I was very impressed with this fight, man. I haven't been that impressed with Usyk. You know, I've been vocal about that. I haven't been super impressed with him, but I was impressed with him for this fight. So he definitely showed that, you know, he belongs where he's at. I want to see what the people are talking about in here. We got Jan West. That's what I'm gonna say. What's going on, champ? We got Chris White. If Usyk was bigger, I'd take him over Fury. Oh, damn. We gonna talk about all of that. Don't you worry. We got Samuel, Cristiano. Let's get it. What's good, man? Christian, what's good? Let's go. Man, Samuel said, "What's up, Coach Anthony? What's going on, my man? You good?" Joshua don't got that dog in him. We're going to talk about that. Don't worry. We're going to get into that because you're not the only one who said that. So I want to definitely get into that. My man, number 13. Yes, sir. What's good, champ? Ron CEO. What's up from H-Town? What's going on, my brother? Big shout out to the H. Listen, man, Houston, I got to come check y'all out over there, man, for sure. Benjamin Cuevas, hello, coach. What's going on? Right hook, AJ is good, but Usyk is a beast. Man, let me tell you, man, Usyk definitely showed me some stuff. That's for sure. Contemporist, do you think Wilder handles Usyk in similar fashion like Ortiz too? That's a good thought process. We're gonna definitely talk about that in a little bit. I did not expect that from AJ. What did you expect from AJ, Jesus? What did you expect, man? Listen, we got a lot to talk about, man. And I do have my thoughts, my opinions on the situation. But Usyk, he basically showed why southpaws, you know, a lot of the time are considered guys that have an advantage over the orthodox fighter. You know what I'm saying? And that's because as a southpaw, you're constantly boxing right-handed fighters. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you see on a regular basis. You're used to seeing right-handed fighters. Usyk, you can see by how he was positioning his body. You know, if I'm a southpaw, right hand in the front, you know what I mean? How he kept slipping over that lead side so he can go ahead and make that turn. He kept landing that straight left-hand lead right down the pipe. And you can see the frustration and the timidness in Anthony Joshua. You can see that he didn't really know how to handle what was happening at that moment. And you can see that Usyk knew how to handle the situation. So this is a huge advantage that southpaws have over the orthodox fighter. Most orthodox guys, you know, we're preparing to box an orthodox person. For instance, when I hold mitts, most of the time for orthodox fighter, a lot of it is based off of boxing a right-handed fighter. Now, don't get me wrong. We know sometimes we focus on boxing a southpaw in the sessions, But for the most part, when I'm holding mitts, a lot of the time, like if I have somebody throw a left hook to the body, I typically roll them out. You know what I mean? Come back with a 2-3-2. We triple them out, step into their left. You know what I'm saying? I'm setting stuff up. I might throw a jab. They might slip outside, come back with the right hand, roll under, slide out to their right. They do a lot of stuff like that on a regular basis. It's a basically boxing a right-handed fighter, boxing a right-handed fighter. But then you go ahead and you box a southpaw, and everything's different. Now, every southpaw I ever work with, they're used to working against right-handed fighters. It's typically when a southpaw boxes a southpaw that they actually have to modify their training more. It's kind of weird that way, but it makes sense because most of the southpaws are going to fight right-handed fighters. So that's why boxing the opposite stance is such an important thing to know, such an important thing to understand. You know what I mean? And I truly believe that that's the reason that Usyk, had an advantage over Anthony Joshua in this fight. He was very comfortable boxing against a right-handed fighter. Anthony Joshua did not look that comfortable. I didn't see him doing any of the tactics that you would do against a southpaw. He was standing right in front. He was getting hit. He wasn't making adjustments. I didn't see him using his jab from a distance, stepping around over to his left, keeping Usyk turning. I didn't see him cutting that side off. A lot of things I didn't see. So I think that Anthony Joshua needs to work on how to box a southpaw. I think that's one of the major things that, you know what I'm saying, that I saw in this fight. But Usyk looked very comfortable. Usyk was never not impressive. Listen, I seen Usyk fight a couple of times. A lot of people liked him from the very beginning. You know, he looked okay to me, but I was never like, man, you know. And even now, like, I just feel that Anthony Joshua didn't fight the right fight. I truly believe that if Anthony Joshua, I truly believe that if Anthony Joshua had a better game plan, he would have did better in this fight. Now, don't get me wrong. Usyk won the fight clearly. You know what I mean? But I just feel that it was more game planning issues with Anthony Joshua than anything. He didn't really know how to handle what was happening. Had he known with his attributes, his size, pause, everything that he has, I think that he would have did a whole lot better. Give me 1 second here, guys. Trying to get somebody on the jack real quick. Yo, son. His son. Yeah, so I want to see what you guys are saying. Usyk has really good footwork. I'm not shocked because AJ has an issue with fast hands, and you're right. Usyk didn't look as promising, but now I think maybe for some of the injuries. I mean, look, man, I'm not gonna try to discredit anybody. Usyk has over 300 amateur fights, an Olympian, was the the cruiserweight champion. Now he's the heavyweight champion. He's the real deal. Ain't no doubt about it. He's the real deal. But I did think that, you know, Anthony Joshua had what it takes to. I thought he has, and I still believe he has what it takes to beat Usyk. I just believe that he didn't know how to handle what's happening in front of him, and I'm quite surprised. But let me bring somebody else in who has plenty of experience in this field, the heavyweight division. Eddie Chambers, you was always faster, more mobile than most of the heavyweights that you fought.
Yeah.
What did you think about Usyk's performance? What did you think about what you saw? And talk to me, man. And let me know what what do you think got him this victory, man? Like over Anthony Joshua. What's your thoughts on everything?
Honestly, with Usyk, he's always like real, like he's a thinking man's fighter. You know what I mean? He thinks he's calculated, but at the same time, he's busy. A lot of feints. See, what he brought to the table was something that Joshua ain't really used to dealing with. You know, a guy in front of him who's a boxer, right? Somebody who is like, it's like when you look at the lighter weight fights. You see fights. You see guys using feints, using distance, but closing distance. Just it's more to me in the heavyweight division is almost a different world to the rest of boxing. You understand what I'm saying? It's like those guys are so big, they don't always have to use their use skill. You know what I'm saying? And it's a little different than what the lighter weight how the lighter weight guys fight. So when I watched Usyk and what he was doing, he was using footwork, he was using the ring, he was closing in distance at times, but then he would fight from the outside sometimes. He had Anthony Joshua guessing all night. He didn't know what was coming and what angle it was coming from. It was already that he was a southpaw, but he was using the advantage really well. His jab was good from that shot. He landed some jabs, he did some tapping over with the right jab, and he went under the guard a little bit sometimes with the jab too. His left hand was on point.
Now, not to try to plug what I do, but I always talk about the courses we had.
Yeah,
we literally covered in the course how to box the opposite stance.
Yes, he used
everything that Usyk did. We literally covered it in that course. So if you guys don't have the course, I'm telling you right now how to box the opposite stance. Eddie, am I lying? Am I just trying to be a salesman, or am I just keeping it 100 right now? Did we not cover?
We covered 100% of that. If you watch the fight, if you watch the Usyk fight, you'll see exactly what we talked about in there. 100%. It was like it was a how-to. If you watch the class that we put on, right? If you watch the instructional, then you watch the fight, you're like, damn, I saw like 100 things that we talked about just happen, and it's like, wow, it's just it's your mind blown, right? But it's boxing. When you get
and that's what I was saying. What I noticed from Anthony Joshua was he was just sitting in the middle. I didn't see him make any adjustment from when you see Usyk slipping over, throwing that left hand lead down the pipe, or it would be from this side, obviously. But you know what I mean? Slipping over, pivoting around, using his jab. He never used his reach to do a tap over. He never stepped to his left to create that angle. He never at any point slipped in through his right hand. He was confused.
Exactly. He never seen anything like that in front of him. And then on top of that, Usyk wasn't that small like everybody would think he would be compared to Anthony Joshua. And he was 220 pounds. And he felt every punch that he landed. You know what I mean? He got his respect. And on top of that, he was outboxing him and outfoxing him. He wasn't prepared for that kind of fight. You know what I'm saying? You're not prepared. He didn't think that he was going to have to dig this deep to figure it out. Not so much dig deep like, do I have enough heart or the ability to come back? No, he didn't figure he'd even have to dig deep in his mind and his boxing IQ, and he was going to really have to think through this thing too. Usyk brought on something that he wasn't prepared to deal with, and that was having to figure it out by thinking, making adjustments. Not necessarily just through, I'm going to tough it out. You know what I'm saying? Like he did with Vladimir. Even though I think Vladimir in his prime would have probably taken a little bit of, I don't want to say a completely different fight, but it would have definitely been he would have had to dig deep a few different other ways too, as well as through, just having to recover from, getting knocked down or hurt or just being tired. But with this guy, he had to figure it out, like from a boxing standpoint. Like, what do I do now that he made this adjustment? When I threw my jab, he's tapping over, throwing his. Sometimes he's rocking down the middle to the inside, throwing his straight left hand. What do I do to make this adjustment here? He just wasn't really prepared to do it. You know what I mean? I think
what's crazy is this. This is actually a really good thing for aspiring boxers to see, because it doesn't take, quote unquote, a lot of punching power to hurt a guy. You noticed in the very first round when Usyk landed a straight left hand, it already threw Joshua off of his rhythm. You can already see. And the punch wasn't like boom, it was more so like a pop. And when Joshua got hit, you kind of see him smile and smirk and have that face of he's already being disrupted from what he was looking to do. As soon as he felt any impact cleanly on his face. So
Mm-hmm.
what that tells you is, these guys who are loading up, throwing these big punches,
Mm-hmm.
trying to hit the heavy bag and trying to prove how hard they can hit. You don't
Yep.
have to hit a guy with all of that force to hurt a guy.
And that Anthony Joshua actually proved that in the middle rounds he started doing better. Why did he start doing better? He wasn't trying to load up. He was just trying to make contact because he felt like, damn, I can't even touch this dude like I want. So I got to at least make contact. When you start making contact, then you start to see a possibility of the big shots. You change it up. You change speeds. You change angles. You change different things. Then you get the opposite. That's what Usyk was doing to him. Usyk wasn't trying to knock him out in the first round. He wasn't trying to knock him out in the second round. He was just looking for opportunities to land punches. He was trying to gain a foothold in the fight, take control, you know what I mean, early on, not let Anthony Joshua get a rhythm or to use his size and strength to his advantage. He outboxed him. He outfoxed him. He did everything he was supposed to do. He put his hands on him. He upped the pace. You know what I mean? The pace of the fight was faster than what Joshua was used to. He just wasn't prepared for that kind of fight. He had to fight a little man's fight, and he wasn't ready for it. He was fighting. He was trying to be a big man, be strong, be tough. Just come in there and knock a guy out. Don't get me wrong, with skills to a degree, but Usyk brought a different side to the game, a different element to the game, and he was really not prepared for it.
Now, Roy Jones in the fight, in the commentary as the fight was going on, he was saying something along the lines of, Anthony Joshua needs to be the bully. He needs to be the bully in this fight.
That was the best bet.
That was Roy Jones's take on it. Now, when I heard him say that, I understood what he was trying to say, but part of me doesn't fully agree. Like, do you think that Anthony Joshua should have been more of a bully imposing his size, or do you think he should have played a smarter fight and boxed a little bit more from a distance than try to walk down the smaller Usyk?
He would run to the same problem with Tyson Fury. He needs to take it and turn it, not so much turn. I feel like what he needs to do, and this kind of illustrated it for me, is watching how Usyk took him apart. And don't get me wrong, he was in the fight, but he was still getting picked apart. I feel like Joshua, and I forget who I was talking to, and they brought this to my attention. Like, you need to train, and for this to be like, don't get me wrong, train hard as you can, attempt to go 12, but you need to train like you only got 6 rounds to get this guy out of there. Like, you need to not only bully him, but you need to put him in not a box. We ain't trying to kill nobody, but you need to put him on his behind. You need him to know that you ain't not going 12 with me. Either one of us is getting knocked out, and I'm making it. You know what I mean? You gotta make, and I'm making it you. That's how he has to fight, in my opinion. Because if you watch the fight, he could have tried to fight tall. He could have tried to do all of that, but it wouldn't have worked because then Usyk would have started pressing him. He would have started coming forward. He would have started walking him down because he already had a hard time putting his hands on him. And you can walk a guy down if you can't be if the guy's having a hard time putting his hands on him.
Okay, but hold on. When Anthony Joshua fought Andy Ruiz the first time, it reminded me kind of this performance. When he fought him in the rematch, he lost a bunch of weight and he fought a totally different boxing match. I was expecting more of that Anthony Joshua against Usyk, and instead we got the Anthony Joshua that actually put on more weight and was a little bit more in front of Usyk. So, my thing is, do you think that did him a disservice?
I mean, it could have, in a sense, because I felt like I think he felt like he was going to be dominant. I felt like he felt this fight was just another fight to make him look good. And it was
why would he think that when he knows that this guy's an Olympian, this guy's a southpaw, this guy is going to be fast? Why would he think that?
I'm Anthony Joshua. I beat this guy. I beat that guy. I got knocked out. Came back and won.
He's been knocked out already.
I know, but he say I came back after that knockout and beat the guy that knocked me out. Now, and to go back what you were saying about Andy Ruiz also came in 292 and couldn't get to Joshua. If Joshua's lighter and tries to outbox him, now you got a guy who's closer in weight to you, who's already the better boxer that we already seen. Now you got him walking you down. Now you don't have not any real serious advantage. You may be still a little heavier, maybe punch a little bit harder, but his skill level is high enough above what you have that you can't really utilize that size advantage if you don't have it. You have to. For me, it's like I said. I said it on another interview that I was doing. I was like, I feel like Anthony Joshua needs the pressure. And I picked Anthony Joshua because I figured, hey, he was going to come out, he was going to show his dominance and his size and his strength early on, and he would work to get him out of there in the middle rounds. That was what my opinion was. That's what I feel like that he would do if he was going to win the fight. And then you've seen in the middle rounds, he started having more success. But that early surge that Usyk had put doubt in his mind already. You know what I mean? That he already had doubt in his mind. He already knew, man, this dude he's really as advertised. He can box his behind off. I got to figure out a way to be able to compete in here. He was fighting from behind. Then they kind of tied it up in the middle, and then Usyk had another surge because of his boxing ability. And Anthony Joshua started getting a little tired. Then you start thinking about, damn, man, this dude's hitting me. I don't know what to do. That doubt start creeping in even further. It's like, yo, what do I do? You start looking to your corner for help. You start looking for help. Ain't nobody can help you in there but yourself.
That question right there. Have you been in a situation where, you're like, man, like what's going through your mind in those situations? Like a fight that you're behind on the cards, you're having a hard time. What's running through your mind at that moment? You as a fighter who's been at that level, what's running through your mind?
When I was fighting Vladimir, and he was out, he was bigger than me. He had all these advantages, everybody there for him. I heard people yelling.
Now, when you fought, hold on, let me bring that back. Now, when you fought Vladimir, it very similar contrast to what we saw, except you aren't the southpaw, you was an orthodox. But Vladimir, even though he was imposing his size, he imposed his size from a distance. I didn't see that from Anthony Joshua. He was imposing his size right there where you could hit him. He didn't drop back his shoulder. He didn't use his reach. Everything was, I'm right in front of you.
Well, let me explain this. First of all, the size difference wasn't that great between them two. The size difference between us was 6 inches plus, pause, 6, about 6 inches.
How tall are you, 6'1"?
And then, 6'1".
And how tall are you? You 6'3"?
6'3". And Joshua was about 6'6", and Vladimir's about 6'6", 6'7". And I'm about 6'1".
So I was also about a 2-inch difference, 3-inch difference.
Right, and then I was also 205 versus Usyk being 220. Now that was my fault. Maybe I should have came in heavier, but I don't know that would have helped anything for me in that particular situation. I feel like my style and my ability and what I was able to do was better for me to be light. That's me. Usyk has a little bit more size. He's a little more imposing in that way, even as a cruiser moving up. And I feel like the way things went in that, like for me in the fight with Vladimir, the way Vladimir pressed behind, he's not really giving up his height necessarily. I mean, he may be a little lower, but he's doing it where he's not giving up range. He's keeping his range. He may be lower and sturdy, but his range is still well out. So if I'm gonna get any kind of money, I mean, I don't know why I say money. If I'm gonna get any kind of money shot on Vladimir,
yeah, we know what you're talking about.
I gotta get through a whole hell of a lot to get there. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas Anthony Joshua doesn't have that same style.
That's what I'm saying. Anthony Joshua gave up his reach advantage or any advantage he had.
Even Andy Ruiz, even if you watch him in the Andy Ruiz fight, he doesn't have that. Like Anthony, like if Vladimir, even when like Vladimir fought BY, when he fought BY, and BY did well in a sense that he wasn't able to hold and hit like he was doing it, because of where it was, but he still kind of pressed a little bit with his range that he used even with BY. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like his style was different. He was behind it. He was boxing. He was careful, but he was still seeking destroy. Anthony Joshua, when he was boxing Andy Ruiz from that range, he was literally on his bike. He was like not trying to let him get too close. He was pecking jabs here and there. He wasn't honestly as sturdy and as menacing with his punches to Andy Ruiz as, say, Vladimir would be with me or would say BY. You know what I mean? Like Vladimir was looking to land big shots and not just win a boxing match. He was hoping to get the knockout. So it's a different kind of boxing. Like I don't feel like if he tried to do that with Usyk, he would probably lose even worse, because then he's going to be on his bike and he's still not going to be dominant.
How does he beat Usyk?
Huh?
In your opinion, how does he beat Usyk?
That's just like I said. He's got to go to him He's got to bring the fight. Like in the middle rounds, he started to get a little busier. He wasn't trying to throw all bombs. He was picking more shots, like throwing shots out there, trying to touching him. He was actually, he started doing some real good body work in the middle rounds with his right uppercut. Anthony Joshua, a couple times I was watching, and I was like, see, that's the kind of stuff. And then that's how he got kind of into the fight in the middle rounds. Body punching, jabs to the body, even though it's going low and you taking a chance with that kind of slow Usyk's train down a little bit. So he had to figure it out. But then Usyk made the adjustment. Anthony Joshua needs to go there, stay on the gas, keep pressing him, keep him going back, like a Vladimir would have done. Vladimir would have kept that jab in his face, poking it, pushing him, doing a little dirty shit, but being on him the whole time, hand in his face. He's got a glove in his face all the time, whether it's a punch or not. Then he would have to put some heavy shots to the body, peck him a little bit, throw a heavy shot, peck him a little bit, throw a heavy shot, another heavy shot. Those kind of things. That's why Vladimir was so great, because he was able to pick at you, make you react, especially if you were a smaller guy. And then all of a sudden, boom, big shot come out of nowhere. Anthony Joshua doesn't have that in his game right now.
Well, he has to work on that. He also has to work on maintaining that distance when them shots come. He needs to be able to get back out of range because he's right there getting hit with the shots.
But you know why? Usyk is 6'3", got a 78-inch reach. It's a little different than fighting a guy 6'1", the guy got a 76 or a 76-inch reach. Even though your 76 is not bad, it's still like that's still far away. You got more of an advantage there. And if the guy's lighter, like I was lighter, I'm much lighter. You know what I mean? Than what Usyk was. Usyk is able to come in and actually, give some strength, give him some size to him. You know what I'm saying?
So now what? Now where do we go from here? What do you see from here? What's next? Do you see those guys rematching each other? Do you see Usyk?
I feel like he will rematch him. He has to. And Joshua ain't got no choice. He got to do it.
Do you think he will do better in a rematch, or do you think it'll be the same result, if not worse?
If he wants to be great, he's going to have to do better in the rematch. Honestly, with me looking at Usyk and his style, it's just a bad style matchup for Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua was not that kind of boxer. You understand what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua is an athlete. He's real athletic, but he's not that kind of boxer. He can make these adjustments. He's good. He's talented, but he's not that kind of guy. It's like, I feel like he has to be. He's also I think he's a little bit of a front runner too. He got to kind of be that dude. If you see, like, there was a lot of uncertainty even in the second fight with Andy Ruiz, because he remembered, man, that dude clocked me. You understand what I'm saying? I think he's a confident dude, but once you put some doubt in his mind, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He got a little more humility. You know what I'm saying, with his game. So it's like when I see Usyk and how Usyk was like at times start dominating the fight, start landing clean shots, doing his little moves, getting out, not getting touched. You could just see Anthony Joshua just trying to think it through, trying to figure it out, looking for help, asking, you know what I mean, asking questions in the corner and stuff like that. All shows doubt. And Usyk, stoic. I'm going to stay with this. I'm going to keep going. My way is going to work. Our way is going to work. We did this in camp. I'm the better fighter. I'm the better boxer. I'm going to get in and I'm going to handle business. That's exactly how he treated it, and that's why he won the fight. Professional style.
Now we got a new heavyweight champion on the horizon. We got Usyk as the heavyweight champion. We also got Deontay Wilder fighting Tyson Fury. Obviously, you still got a lot of talent. The heavyweight division is stacked right now. You got talent from everywhere.
I wish I would have been coming around this time.
Yeah, this is. I mean, listen, you still around, Eddie? Listen, we get in the lab. We get back in the lab tomorrow, man. If you want Eddie back in the lab, let me know, man, in the comments. But all right, listen. So let's go back to this. Let's just say Usyk matches up with Deontay Wilder, and let's just say he matches up with Tyson Fury. Based off what you saw with Anthony Joshua, how does Usyk match up against Deontay Wilder, and then how does he match up against Tyson Fury? What's your opinion? You've been in the ring with Tyson Fury. You obviously understand heavyweight boxing. What do you think?
I'll say Deontay first. Deontay is always going to be a problem because of his puncher power, and he's so unorthodox. You can't know where that shit's coming from. So whatever. So if anybody has a direct shot to beat him by knockout at any point in a fight, it would be him. Deontay Wilder would be that dude. And much as I always give shit about Deontay Wilder and about him not having the skill, he's always in fights, no matter what. He's always going to be in a fight. Now, I think Usyk can take him apart. I think he can take him apart. I think Usyk takes him apart is easier than Joshua. The problem is that right hand is there. If he closes his eyes and swing that right hand and catch it, he's going to sleep. That's a fact.
Hold on. J Love did a super chat. Do y'all think Andy Ruiz made AJ Gunshine and ruined him?
I like that question. I don't want to say ruined him. And I don't know.
Thank you for the super chat, J Love, for the record. Thank you.
That's a good question. That's a great question. And I feel like it just made him more. I think it made him a little more cautious, which is kind of a good thing. I don't know about gun shy, but I feel like if he starts getting hit and starts getting hit quite a few times, like he was doing with this guy, and he starts remembering that Andy Ruiz situation and how it felt, it could definitely make him sit back a little bit more and watch and hold his hands up, just not knowing what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Anthony Joshua does have a lot of heart. He's going to go in and he's going to try to fight no matter what, even if he is confused or a little nervous about the situation that's going down. But back to that whole Deontay Wilder thing, man. He's just in every fight. But I feel like Usyk can box a clinic on him too. He just got to stay out of the way of that crazy right hand. I just don't. But one person I don't think he can touch is Tyson. There's no way. In my opinion,
I had a conversation with a friend of mine who said he believes Tyson Fury has no offense. Matter of fact, I think he's in the chat somewhere. If you in here, Pablo, let your name be known. But he said he doesn't feel that Tyson Fury has enough offense to be able to be effective against a guy like Usyk. What's your thoughts? You've been in the ring with Tyson Fury. What's your thoughts on that?
Let me tell you something. There's a huge difference with AJ and Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is all boxer, all creativity, footwork. He's all over the place. There ain't no, and I look, boxing is boxing. Anybody can get caught and get lucky and win. Don't get me wrong. Usyk is a fantastic fighter, no doubt about it. He can box. He can do what he got. But you're not going to get in the ring at 6'3" and box a dude that boxes like he does at 6'9". It's not happening. If they were both 6'3", maybe Usyk can, who knows? But is a huge height difference. Tyson boxes as well as anybody, especially in heavyweight division, and at range. It's just not going to happen. There's too much you got to get through. He boxes southpaw, he boxes orthodox. It's just too much. It's too much to expect of a guy like that. I just don't think that is a good style matchup for Usyk, and it's not because I know him. If I would have never met Tyson Fury a day in my life and watched him, I'd have said the same shit. But also because I've been in the ring with him, and I know that he gets in the ring with him, he's going to be like, what the fuck is this shit, bro? Because that's exactly what I said. I was like, what the is this? Like, this dude is weird. Like he don't look like he should be able to handle like anything. Like he should I should just be able to go in here and do what I do. And keep in mind, I was 195 pounds when I first sparred with him.
You sparred him at 195 pounds?
Yeah, it was like 195 when I went to camp with him at the first time. And he moving and making me miss and shit. I'm like, what the this big goofy mother? Like, what? Nah, hell no. Nah. And then over a couple of days, I got better with it. But it wasn't like I was ever controlling the shit at that point. Like, you need time with him. You need multiple times to figure this dude out. And you don't have that. Because you ain't like Usyk saying, all right, I'm gonna go spend like 3 months at camp with him, sparring with him, then I'll fight him later. No, you got to do that shit in one night, and it ain't happening in one night. I'm telling you. Like, I'm trying to tell you right now, and I ain't trying to say the greatest heavyweight of all time, but what I am saying is any heavyweight in history, any great heavyweight in history would have had, huh?
Well, that leads into this. Considering their size, how do you compare Usyk to Evander Holyfield in his prime? Joe, thank you for the super chat.
That's a good question. Honestly, he's comparable. But Evander Holyfield it's hard, man, when you look at the greats, man. These dudes already cemented. So it's kind of hard to say Usyk is on Evander's level because Evander Holyfield done so many great things in boxing over such a long period of time. But his ability and
I'll be honest, man. And big shout out to Evander Holyfield, but picturing that fight in my head, I see Usyk doing very well against I see Usyk possibly beating Evander only because I can't think of a
It's
fighter other
exciting.
than Riddick Bowe that Evander fought that was slick like Usyk.
Yeah,
Like Usyk is
yeah.
a very interesting fighter, and I don't know if Evander would be able to handle that.
Think of John Ruiz. John Ruiz gave a lot of trouble to Evander because John Ruiz, even though people don't really remember or like his style, he was kind of boring, jab and grab, what they say. But he had a lot of skills that people didn't really understand. And I sparred with John. I went to camp with John, so I know. And it's like it's hard to deal with guys like that. And Usyk has that kind of little game to him a little bit. He's better, I think, than John, but he has that little herky-jerky, weird rhythm style, and he's a southpaw. It's hard to figure out. It ain't no easy shit. Like, trust me, it takes look, I feel like I would do okay. Not right now. I got to get right before I even think about getting in there with a guy like him. And the reason is because I sparred with a guy when I was young. When I was 15, I started sparring with a guy. His name was Timmy Williamson. He used to kick my ass.
Let me read my man Jay Love's comment. Another super chat. Another problem with AJ. He's too predictable, tight, and robotic. A good fighter can easily time AJ. Usyk kept AJ off balance the entire night. Do you agree, Eddie?
Yeah, I agree 100%, and that's part of what the issue is. Like, that's what I'm saying. He kept him off balance. You have to make your presence felt in a situation like that. Do you think that? Let me think of a fight. What's my man's name that fought Floyd? That was biting his glove. I can't remember his name right now. He bit his glove. He did. I can't remember his name. Real aggressive. South American dude. What's his name? The one, if you remember, the one that fought Broner, dropped Broner, made Marcos Maidana. You think Maidana's going to try to box Floyd? No. Fuck no. Why would he box Floyd? He's going to do what he can to win the fight or to put himself in position to win the fight. Marcos Maidana going to go in there and bite his glove, punch him on the leg, punch him in the back of the head, punch him on the arm, punch him everywhere. Punch him in the nuts, punch him everywhere, because that's his style. That's his way of getting into the fight. That's his way of making it rough and nasty so he can be in the fight. If Anthony Joshua was not able to do that or willing to do that, he's going to have a tough time. He's not outboxing Usyk like that. He can try, and who knows? He may be successful. He may catch him. Who knows? But I doubt it. It's going to be too much work for him. He's going to have to put too much work in. He's going to have to literally change his stripes in one fucking camp. That is really difficult to do, is to start doing things that you're not normal. Is not normally your game. How do you change all of that in one camp? It's really difficult to see. So he's going to have to do something that he like early in his career, not early in his career, but you see a lot of the earlier fights that he had, where he was storming in there, just fast combinations, knocking guys out early. He's got to go in there with that mentality. I cannot let this guy go the distance. That's my opinion. He's going to have to be aggressive. He's going to have to be somewhat on the front foot. But he also still has to pick his way into the fight. He can't just start unloading. He's going to have to pick his way into the fight. Throw some jabs out there. You know what I mean? Do a little couple step backs. You know what I mean?
You talking about who now?
I'm talking about Anthony Joshua. If he's going to beat Usyk, he's going to have to do a couple little things, but he's going to have to be aggressive. He's going to have to make Usyk look like, damn, the wall's closing in on me. Where the hell can I go to get a freaking rest? That's what Vladimir would have done to him. Vladimir would have pressed him just like that. He would have got behind that long jab, would have flicked it out there a little bit, pushed him. As soon as he would have started trying to dip and throw those little shots, he would have started putting his arm out and that with that little, I don't even want to say the word, that mentally challenged strength that he might possess, and stick his arm out there. Like, he'll do that stuff, but it keeps you there. It keeps you at bay. And that's what Vladimir would have done. Joshua doesn't have that, but he needs to develop it if he thinks he's going to be able to win this fight with Usyk.
So if he beats Usyk again, okay. If Usyk beats Joshua again, boom, he cleared the Joshua situation. We're gonna give Anthony Joshua the benefit of the doubt to try to avenge his loss, right? If he loses again, okay, you've conquered the Anthony Joshua thing. Now we got Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, the two top guys that are up there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I already asked you what your thoughts were. You said that you think that Tyson Fury's too much, and you think that Deontay Wilder has a chance. But where do you really place Usyk though? Like, do you really believe so you believe that Tyson
he's above,
then it's Usyk and then it's Wilder? Like what's your thoughts?
Yeah. I think it's Tyson, Usyk, Wilder right now.
And do you think that how do you see Wilder versus Anthony Joshua?
Actually, I can't even say that. Is Tyson, Usyk, and maybe Wilder, maybe Joshua in the third spot, and any other below him. Because just because Joshua lost to Usyk does not mean that he's not above Wilder. Wilder got dominated and stopped in the fight. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're gonna look at performance based, like who did better in their loss, you got to put Joshua number 3. You know what I'm saying? Until he proves whether or not
right now, Anthony Joshua or Wilder. I think that's a very intriguing fight, man. That fight needs to happen.
That fight is before Tyson came back into the fold. They should have fought. I don't understand why.
Because now it looks like Wilder got a real chance, in my opinion.
With who? Oh, with Joshua? Oh, yeah, with Joshua. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. He got a real chance with anybody.
Oh, don't say with who, because he got a big fight coming up now with your boy. He might mess around and put him to sleep.
He could. But that is his only chance, bro. And I'm looking in the camera. Only chance. If he catches him, he catches him. Fair play. That's what happens. That's boxing, right? But that's it. You think he want outboxing?
How's Tyson Fury gonna fight this rematch, and how's Deontay Wilder gonna fight this rematch? If you had to be a guesser and guess the outcome of the fight, how different is this gonna be from the first and the second fight?
I don't honestly with Wilder. I really don't think he can do anything that different. I would like, if I was a supporter of his, I would like to see him try to be a little bit more. I don't know. You can't just have a little more skill all of a sudden. You got to develop it. But
we got Malik Scott teaching him some of them tricks.
I mean, look, I respect Malik. I like what Malik's doing, and that's his man, that's his boy, and he's trying to make sure that he does well. And I hope he does well with that. But I just don't think he's going to be able to change. But so much, it's really difficult. It's like once you go and once you're who you are, right? You know what I mean? I can't change my ethnicity. It's not going to happen. I'm not trying to say that Wilder can't get better or get more skills, but he's going to go back to what he is. He's just going to do that. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? I look at
when Wilder fought Tyson Fury the first fight, he obviously was getting outboxed. But did he drop Tyson twice in that fight?
The first fight?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
He knocked him down 2 times.
Yeah.
So Deontay Wilder has proven that he could put Tyson on his behind, not once but twice. And in the last knockdown, depending on who's the referee, if Jay Nady was the referee, that was a knockout. You know what I'm saying? If Jay Nady was the referee, we seen Jay Nady work. So
wait, who was the ref, or was Jay Nady the ref? Who was the ref?
Was he the ref?
I think he was the ref, man. Yeah, man. You got that shit all the way.
That's crazy. Y'all, man, this like knockdown. Hold on, Eddie. I'm having a technical difficulty here. But yo, ain't that some irony that I said that? Because you know, he probably done got ripped in his career for premature stoppages. So now he's probably like, man,
a lot more careful. A lot more careful with it. Because look, it's like when you quit one time. Even though it's easier, I guess, to quit, sometimes you feel like, I can't do that again. Like you look at Vitaly Klitschko when he quit with Chris Bird because of his arm. He fought Lennox Lewis he would have fought Lennox to the death because he wasn't quitting. He's like, man, I ain't letting nobody think that I'm a sucker because I quit one time because I tore my shoulder. You know what I mean? Right now, you're gonna have to knock my eyeball out in order for me to quit. So it's the same thing. Like I'm looking at Jay Nady as a ref. He's like, man, I'm giving these dudes every opportunity to be the champions they are and get up off their back if they can.
I gotta do that, yo. That's crazy. He let that fight continue because I'm gonna tell you, man, the way Tyson hit that ground, if they would have stopped it, I wouldn't have been mad. I swear.
I would have been mad, but it wouldn't have been at the ref for stopping it. It would have just been at him for letting him fucking hit him. Like, why would you allow him? And then the train would have kept moving, and we wouldn't have known this about not Anthony Joshua, but Deontay Wilder. Like these things, like it's good for Deontay that he had to go through this. Maybe this makes him a better fighter. Maybe this does give him a better shot at winning the fight. I just don't think so. I don't think he's not. I don't think he has enough in at all in his game at this point in his career to and look, how old is Deontay now?
Nah, it was Jack Reese.
Oh, it was Jack Reese was the ref?
Yeah, Jack Reese.
Is that the first fight or the second fight?
The first fight. Yep. I'm reading it right now on Google.
Oh man. Oh yeah, maybe.
Yep. That's Fury, because Fury ain't get knocked down in the second fight.
No, he didn't. No, not at all.
Yeah, so it was Jack Reese. So maybe I was right. Maybe Jay Nady stops the fight. Maybe Jay Nady stops the fight. Either way.
Maybe not.
All Deontay Wilder needs, in my opinion, all Deontay Wilder needs is a way to set up the right hand. So how much does he really need to do? He could use some probing of the jab, some good jabs, some feints, and just let that baby go. Just let it go.
And that's true. But but see, the thing is, you got to also think about what's coming back. It's not going to be one-way traffic. So it's like if he could sit there and know that there was nothing coming back, that's one thing. But when you got multiple shots coming and a target that you're having a hard time landing on, doubt creeps in your mind. It's all a mental thing, man, after a while. Like once you're at the highest level like they are now, it's a mental thing. It's like trying to overcome the mental barriers you're putting on yourself. Because a lot of times you're in there and you're used to being dominant. Like Wilder's used to, even though he'll be losing most of the fights and come back and knock him out, he's still kind of in control because he knows that it's only a matter of time. With Tyson, it was always uncertain because he could barely land a shot. And then you got Tyson in front of him playing around with him, laughing at him, throwing shots at him, pushing him around, making it look like he doesn't belong in the ring with him. And then when, the first fight, when he got the draw, when he didn't really deserve, no disrespect, it was like there was enough doubt there. Then all of a sudden in the second fight, he gets dominated. He gets dominated and stopped. Now where's the doubt now? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he can. I'm confident. I don't care. I want the fight. I want an opportunity again. It's cool.
From a fighter's perspective, and I've worked with so many fighters over the years, but a guy like you, for instance, you're super highly talented, but you're extremely humble, right? I've worked with you. I've seen how you, even though you're good, I know deep down you're good. You're not like the type of guy to be like, yeah, I'll whoop his ass. You'll be like, yeah, well, the guy's good. I got to prepare. Do you believe that guys like Deontay Wilder are really that confident, or is he just portraying that as a mask, as a mirror to not a mirror, but as a mask to cover up his insecurities?
I feel like
how much do you think is true confidence, and how much do you think it's just an image?
I feel like in this situation, for him to turn down that step aside money, he really believes he got a shot at winning. Because if you really feel like hell, well, either that or he's like, I can't take that money because if I take it, then I'm gonna look like I don't think I can win. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of both. But I think for him to ignore the step aside money and say, I want this fight regardless, I feel like whether it's warranted or not, he really still thinks he can win the fight. And of course, I agree. He has a shot. He has a puncher's chance, but that's the only chance, in my opinion. He's not going to be able to change his whole game, or not even so much change his whole game, be able to add enough to it that he's going to put Tyson in a position to where he's going to be like, damn, I could lose this fight.
What's the exact date of this fight? What's the exact date of this fight? Today's the 27th. When's the fight?
I can't even remember, bro.
I'm not even sure either. Anybody put it in the chat. I need the exact date of the fight. But so obviously you got Tyson Fury winning in this rematch. So let's just say Tyson Fury wins. Usyk wins. That's the fight to make, right?
That's the only one left right now. Then have maybe the loser.
If Usyk could beat Tyson Fury, where does he go down in history?
Oh, man, he's got to be up there. He's got to be up there because I just if he beats him, I'm like, damn, bro. I couldn't. I don't see how. But if he does it, he's got to be up there somewhere. You know what I mean? You got to give him something.
The fight's October 9th, so we got what? We got about, 2 weeks or a week? Not like this weekend, the following one, I think.
Yeah.
So so basically in two weeks, we got ourselves a hell of a fight right there, man.
Yeah. I mean, look, the heavyweight division is hot. Like you said, it is hot. There's interesting fighters coming. There's interesting prospects. There's interesting.
Are you inspired, Eddie? Are you inspired?
I ain't gonna lie. I was looking at that like, dog. I was like, man, if I didn't come up in the Klitschko era and I came around now, bro, this shit would have been like, I would have been in this conversation. Fuck being in this conversation. I would have been right there where Usyk is. At least somewhere we'd have been talking about a fight. The only person that I can definitely say that would have gave me a lot of motherfucking trouble, maybe too much trouble, would be Tyson. The rest of these guys, I don't see it. I really don't. Wilder's always in the fight, so no doubt. I would never want to think that anybody can knock me the fuck out. But if you get caught, you get caught. So Wilder would be in the fight, but he'd be getting his ears boxed off the entire time, in my opinion, before whatever happened, if it happened at all. You know what I mean? So, and Usyk he's good, but I just don't see it. Like with me, a lot of
that stuff he wouldn't have been able to pull off. You know,
it would have been different.
You're not going to stand right in front of him the way Anthony Joshua did.
See, fights, styles make fights, and certain fighters, it's like when him fighting what's the cruiserweight guy that he fought? He's good. He's really good.
Michael Hunter.
No, not Mike Hunter. Mike Hunter. Yeah, Mike Hunter. See, that's the different one. See, Mike
Hunter's got to be in the conversation now.
Mike Hunter can fight, and Mike Hunter gave him work. So it's like when you think about that, and Mike Hunter is fighting heavyweight right now, so he's right there. You understand what I'm saying?
Where do we put Michael Hunter in the conversation now? He already put Usyk.
Yeah, like the conversation. It's all possible. But if he's in the conversation, he definitely is in the conversation. But what I'm saying is, when I look at, if you look at a fight like with Mike Hunter, it just shows. Now, I'm not saying that Usyk wasn't winning or in control or did whatever. I just felt like Mike Hunter did a good enough job to kind of show that if he was on point, that fight could be a fight that would be winnable for Mike Hunter. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, if I'm in there,
Michael Hunter versus Anthony Joshua doesn't sound like a realistic fight, but now it might sound like a realistic fight.
He fights good against big guys, straight up. Mike Hunter, like, watch some of the fights he fought with the big dudes. Now, Anthony Joshua is a little different. You know what I mean? It's a little different with Anthony Joshua. You got to give him that. But trust me, he does fight well against him, and I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? If he got in there and did some shit that we didn't expect with Anthony Joshua, you feel me? And it's not because Anthony Joshua lost to Usyk. That doesn't have anything to do with that. There's a different fight altogether. But what I am saying is, it's possible. It's just these guys, man. The small heavyweights, man, they might be coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Good question. If Tyson Fury was to get a fight with Usyk, would you be willing to come in as a sparring partner to help prepare him, or are you just completely like, nah, I'm cool, I'm not?
No, of course, I would help him. Why not? I'd be southpaw too, even though I ain't done that shit in a long enough time.
Hey, listen, you box is a southpaw a lot better than people know. So
yeah. And I mean, I was doing it in camp.
Be able to do your imitation, to a degree. I believe you would do well.
I mean, I would be in there definitely trying to be a hard ass sparring session, especially for the first few that I had, first few back, and oh my goodness, man, it's just thinking about that, how difficult that would be. Come back almost makes you not want to, but honestly, but I do understand what I need to do with Vladimir, with Tyson. And to kind of push him, because we did it so much. We spent so much time together, so many rounds we worked together. Man, it was great work between us. We had some good sessions. I mean, a lot of the sessions, it was rough for me, but there was a lot of sessions that were good for both of us. You know what I'm saying? So it was a great great opportunity, time for me to be there. And I saw him blossom. I knew even when I first sparred with him, I knew this motherfucker is tough. Who's going to really beat this dude? And then when he's talking about he's fighting David Haye, I'm like, yo, David Haye did the right thing pulling out of that fight, because that shit would have been the worst fucking thing for him in the world. He would have got embarrassed, and it would have just been too much. Because he's too big and he's too fucking good being that big. Pause. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you were David Haye's size, or if you were Usyk size and you were doing all that stuff, that's cool. That's good. You talented. You can win. Like, look at Usyk, what he did with Joshua. But when you 6'9" and you doing all that shit, and you've been boxing your whole life, it's just kind of too much, you know, to ask a small guy to deal with that. Pose.
Right,
you know.
Right. Yeah, man. Well, we had a definitely a nice little shake up to the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? Definitely something for us to pay attention to, something for us to look forward to now, man. Stuff like this is great for boxing, because then it's not the same old thing over and over and over, right? Now you're like, okay, we already knew that we had to respect Usyk, but now we know he's the real deal. He's a force to be reckoned with. And matter of fact, one of the trainers you had actually trained him for a period of time, correct?
Oh yeah, Bashir. And I see a lot, and real shit, I see a lot of stuff that Bashir implemented in his game till this day. All those feints, those up and down foot feints, keeping him on it. Like Joshua was like this, like, yo, when is this shit coming, man? Where is it coming from? That's a Bashir thing. I learned all that foot feint and walking off and using footwork in small areas, like, you know, stuttering, all that. A lot of that come from him. So trust me, the time that he spent with Usyk has imprinted on his career for the rest of it. Trust me. Trust me. Bashir, one of those unsung dudes that been around and is as good a trainer as anybody in the game. Straight up.
Hold up. Coach Anthony, we getting a link. What are you talking about, Ultra Tech? Talk to me real quick. What kind of link you talking about? But yeah, man, guys, how to box the opposite stance, man. I'm telling you guys right now, if you guys want to understand what Usyk did to the degree of like understanding it, get that course, Eddie, man. I don't gotta be a salesman on this one. I was actually so pleased when I saw Usyk's performance, because I was like, he's doing exactly what the hell you're supposed to do.
But we're not just in this thing playing around. Like, we're not in this just spinning our wheels saying shit that we don't believe. The stuff that is happening and what we talk about in these instructionals and these different YouTube videos and things like that are all boxing things. They're all possible. They happen. All these fights and all of these different things. That's why, I want to do like a not a reaction, but something like a reaction, or just watch a live fight and then talk about it while we're watching.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Because then what you'll see is that the stuff that we're talking about. Oh, at least, do you see what he did? Did you? Some guys, some people may not even understand what they're watching or what they're seeing. But when we explain it, you say, "Oh, okay." I go, or even if he's watching an old fight and explaining it, then you will see the stuff that we talking about is not just we just talk.
It's crazy, Eddie, because the internet's a very weird place.
It is.
You know that, and I know that. And I see a lot of guys that want to talk about boxing. They want to teach boxing. They got pages just like the one that you're talking about, where they're doing breakdowns of what's happening in the fight. Yeah. And they're still getting it wrong. It's because they don't see it from the eyes of professionals. You've been a professional now for 20 plus years. I've been in the sport overall about the same amount of years. And we see so many things from eye to eye. And every once in a while, you may see things slightly different than me. I may see things slightly different than you, but it's usually pretty much correlated to that's how it's supposed to be. And I really don't have too many of these debates with educated boxing minds. You know what I mean? I talk to a lot. I'm fortunate to have some really good people in my phone that I talk boxing with that know the game. And we don't really have too many disagreements. Sometimes I learn, if anything. But when I see some of these other guys talk, I'll be like, oh, my God, you guys don't even understand the game, like not even a little bit. And it makes me not even want to talk sometimes. It makes me just want to say, yeah, okay, whatever. You get to the point where you don't even want to debate and you don't even want to like let people know your authority. You just kind of just shut up and say, yeah, you're right. Go ahead, buddy. Yeah, yep. You got it now. See you later. You know what I mean?
It's just like when you're watching a guy in the gym or in another gym, and I don't like advertising what I do. You know what I mean? Saying, oh, I'm this guy. I don't do that. Like, especially if I'm in there to play ball or whatever.
Let me cut you off. I got a story that I tell everybody about you. So there was one time that, ladies and gentlemen, I was hanging out with Eddie in the LA Fitness, and Eddie was playing basketball. Eddie loves to play basketball. This guy, if he had a chance to do it again, he wouldn't even be a boxer. And he gets to a little argument with a little Spanish guy, and that kid came up to you. Too. He came up to you like he was going to whoop your ass. He was like talking crazy, he had his fist balled up and everything. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm about to hit this dude. You know what I'm saying? But as it's going on, I'm watching your body language and how you handled it. And at no point did you raise your voice. At no point did you tell him you were a boxer. At no point did you say, listen, I could hurt you. You were just cool and collective. And he didn't know you were a boxer until people told him hours later, right? And then he came up to you the next day apologizing, you told me or whatever. But it just shows like how like the kind of discipline you have as a boxer, you know what I mean, especially at your caliber, where you could have hit this dude with a jab and probably knocked him out. You see what I'm saying?
He didn't go to prison, or if something else would have happened. And it's like, you know what? It's like I've had so many, you know how many instances I've had that happen with me, Aunt? Oh my God, I can't even count them. This one dude in Lifetime, this was a couple years ago. We were playing basketball. Me and another one of the guys at the gym, a cool, friend of mine too. We're playing for like 5 hours. Dead tired, my legs tired. I feel like moving. And this dude comes in there, all the confidence in the world, can't really play, but think he can play. Got a gut on him. And you like in your early 20s, and it's like, dude, you think you nice, you're not even nice, and then on top of that, you got a gut in your early 20s, and you try to run out here like you can really play. Like, all right, cool, go ahead. You start mouthing off, talk about, hey, you old as you moving like you old as hell, you can't even. And I'm sitting there like, all right. So then I go sit down. He's still talking. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna say a little shit just to fuck with him or whatever, just to mess with him. I ain't really paying attention. I'm relaxed. I'm sitting in the chair. The dude then says, and I'm saying like, yo, you ever play? So I said, I was like, you know what? Let me shut him up real quick. Like, yo, you ever play basketball at a professional level? No, I don't need that. I'm better than you, nigga. He wasn't, just to let you know. But then I'm saying, well, and he was because he was trying to say he was a better athlete than me. I was like, well, if you never played basketball at a professional level, you nowhere near the athlete that I am. He said, man, I'll do it. I'm a better athlete than you. So his boys knew what I do. So they told him like, yo, man, chill, dude, the pro, what you talking about? You know what I mean? And at that whole time, I wasn't even thinking about punching. This dude went as far as to say, oh, well, I'll whoop, yeah. Then when he found out, he's like, well, you know what? I'll dump on you. I'll shoot you, nigga. What you gonna do? I'm sitting there like, I start laughing. I'm like, oh, now you gonna kill me? I'm like, really? So you gonna kill me now? I was like, yo, come here, man. I was about to tell you to come over. I was like, and I was gonna tell him, I was gonna tell you straight up. If you got your gun in your bag, all right. But if you got your shit in your car, you ain't leaving here. I'll beat you to death before you get to your car. Like, how you gonna get to your car? And what your boys gonna do? They ain't gonna do shit. I said, they're gonna sit there and watch you get your ass beat to death.
Right.
Because if it's between me and you walking out of there, if you got a gun, I'm gonna beat you to death, nigga, because you trying to kill me.
Right.
So don't do that. And you not even, no disrespect to Jersey, because I ain't saying you can't be tough if you're from Jersey, but you from a nice part of Jersey.
What you trying to say about Jersey, bro?
I don't know, but what I'm saying is, if you're from Jersey, if you're from this part of Jersey, where I'm at right now, the nice part of Jersey, it's very, really difficult for me to believe that you had a hard life. I didn't have heat in my house for 2 years. I didn't have my own clothes for 4 or 5 years. I came up hard. When I was fighting, my check went to my family so we could eat. We was eating lunch meat sandwiches, delivery paper. Nigga, no, I had a hard life. And I still wasn't no thug. But dog, don't tell me you live in Mount Laurel and you think
Nah,
that you
Delran. Rasheed Jefferson said Delran.
Oh, Delran. But come on, man. Look,
Yo, we chilling in Tell them that we living good in Delran. They hating.
Delran is lovely. Delran
Delran
is lovely. We love it. We love it here in Mount Laurel.
Yeah, I ain't leaving Delran. I'm staying right here.
Hey, listen, it's like we talked about though. He was like, "Yo, you think about moving, right? So you think like, damn, certain parts of places that I'm thinking about going, there's danger there. Jersey though is you always safe. You always feel comfortable in Jersey, right? These dudes come into the gym because they feel like everybody's from Jersey, right? So they tough in Jersey. I'll come from over. Then back your punk ass up. You ain't tough. None of y'all tough. I'm not a rough guy. I don't have any of that. Like I want to fight in the street. I don't want to fight ever if I don't have to. Nigga, like that's not my game. No, it is my game, but that's not my attitude. But if I have no choice, you're going to sleep. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fuck you up bad too, so you can't come back. But that's ain't what you gotta do.
Eddie, whoops up, man. Listen,
no, but
why did you do this in boxing, man?
Because boxing is a sport. Boxing is a sport. If you fight for your life, bro, you gotta fight for your life. I'm nice. I'm a nice guy. I never want to fight. I'll honestly tell you, a guy can come up to me and I'll be doubting, like, man, what if this dude pull out a pipe or something and catch me? What if this dude, when I turn my head, pause.
Yeah.
How did you get me on that?
Bro? No, ain't no dudes pulling the pipe on me, bro. Pause.
Nah, but for real. But really. But it's like, think about it. It's like, damn. So I don't want it to go there. But people do it all the time. And then I'm getting to the point where I'm not even talking no more. Somebody say something, all right. You get in my face, right hand might be coming. If it comes, you going. Because I know you can't take no punch, especially one you ain't seeing. So I'm knocking you to cold the fuck out. And I might keep hitting you after because I don't want you to get back up. Straight up.
No more, Eddie. No more, Eddie. Yeah, shh. You can't. Yeah.
But listen to what I'm saying.
No, don't solve no
people are nowadays. People come back with guns.
I'm from old school, man. We can't talk about this, man, on the phone. We can't talk about this on the internet. You know what I mean? We gotta.
I don't fight. Man, I don't fight. I don't even fight. I don't know why this is even a conversation, but I'm just saying.
Right.
You know how it is, man. I'm just trying to stay out of trouble. That's all I'm trying to do.
Nah, you're doing a good job at that, man. But we need to call out some of these names, man. We need to call out some of these names, and we need to get back in the gym. You know, you're gonna be 45 years old. Like, damn it, I should have did it when I was 39, and I thought I was old then. I was young then. You see what I'm saying? Like,
honestly, right now, you know, with all of these little opportunities to make a good living with this, like, I ain't mad.
Yeah. Eddie about to catch a case on a live stream. I'm trying to tell you. Yo, that's a fact, humble wisdom. That's all I cut him off.
Yo, humble wisdom. You can tell I ain't never been in no trouble before because I would have never said nothing like that if I had, because I would have known better.
Yo,
what I'm saying is, you know why I'm saying it? It's no warning to nobody. I'm not getting into no fights. I can almost guarantee that I will never get into another fight, a street fight. I'm saying, probably in my life, because I know how to walk away, stay away from it.
Look. Now he trying to clean it up, humble. Now he trying to clean it up. Look, he trying to get himself out of the case.
But if they try to take it to the next level and I can't avoid it, what am I gonna do? Right. Would you rather end it on the ground or rather end it standing up? Like, I'm trying to end it where I can walk away from it. Not hopefully they can too, but whatever.
Right.
That's their fault. They did it, not me.
Yo, people, I'm gonna give y'all a quick opportunity to ask Eddie some questions, some Q&A. If y'all got any questions y'all want to hear from Eddie Chambers, boxing tips, boxing, you know, thoughts and on fights or whatever, we're gonna stay on for about another 10 minutes. Drop your comment below. I'll put it on the screen, and you can chop it up with Eddie. Get Eddie's expertise. But yeah, man, listen, discount code CA Power Hour, get 60% off the courses. If you don't have any of my courses and you just watched the fight over the weekend, you have to get the How to Box the Opposite Stance. You know, it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? You need to know how to box the opposite, especially if you are an orthodox boxer. A lot of guys think that this is just for the southpaw. No, this is very important for orthodox, because we're the ones getting our asses looking silly against southpaws because we don't know how to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? It's not just jab, crosses, and hooks. It's knowing the body positioning, when to let the shots go, where to escape. You know, there's similarities and differences, but there's some major differences, man. Get that course, man, please, before I take everything down.
Hey, listen. There's people that will get into a ring, and some of these guys are professional, and will be in front of a guy who is a southpaw and not even understand why it feels different. I don't want to say professional, maybe amateur, or high level amateur, but it's just I don't know, man. These kind of things are important to understand, and this instructional what is 100% worth every penny, because it gives you exactly what you need on both sides, whether you're a southpaw or orthodox. You know what I'm saying? So, and you need to understand the angles. You need to understand why you throw certain punches in certain situations. It's just there's a lot.
It's like my boy Billy Briscoe always says, man. It's not just the how, it's the why, and that's what we make sure we make sure we cover in this in everything that we do. I mean, that's like a model that I live up to. The great teachers before me and the great teachers that are currently teaching. You know, big shout out to all the teachers. You know, we got a lot of trainers in this sport, but there is some good teachers still left. And there's a lot of these guys out here hustling. And big shout out to the teachers. I like to classify myself in that category, whether I'm working with fighters actively or not. When it comes down to the sport of boxing, I'm trying to teach with integrity, especially on the internet. I make sure that I tell people I'm teaching with integrity. We're making sure we're teaching real boxing, real situations, real techniques. And of course, you're going to have 100 trainers tell you 100 different things, and they might say, I wouldn't do it like this, or I wouldn't do it like that, whatever. But at the end of the day, what I'm teaching, I know works. You know it works, Eddie. We're just passing down knowledge. We're not making shit up. We're passing down proven knowledge. Anything that I teach, I could pull up a fight with a guy doing it. So let's see right here, man. We got Golf Tweetler. Eddie, are you really coming back?
I want to, man. I 100% want to. It's there's so much opportunity out here. It just sucks, man, that my era was real strong with the Klitschko's, you know what I mean? And I was right behind them, but it's tough, man. You won't be recognized when you got two dominant figures like those guys. So now would be a good time for me. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds, the near future, because I'm not planning on doing this shit too much longer than even having a conversation about it too much longer than, you know, in these next few years. So it's got to happen soon.
Are you related to Jason how you say his last name on everybody?
Derulo. Honestly, if I was, I'd be calling like, yo, Jay, what's up, man? You going to help a brother out? I need to get on something. You gotta pay for a camp or something, bro. Nah, I don't think I'm related to him. I think we're two different ethnicities. I think he's Haitian. I don't even know. It's just, I guess, I don't know. There's some kind of tie in some way, because I don't know. I guess he kind of favors me because I'm older.
All right. Why are there not more beginners using headgear when doing pad work?
That's a good. I never thought about that. Honestly, I never did. I'm gonna be honest. I never did. Maybe something to think about. I mean, you the man.
Actually, what we used to do when I was boxing in the PAL, we would spar, and right from sparring, we would jump on the heavy bag, and we would keep the headgears on sometimes. Not all the time, but there was times where the trainer would say, "Jump right on the bag with the headgear on." So I used to be like, so I mean, and I've done it with some of my amateurs as well. So, do I think it's necessary? No, I don't think it's necessary. But I can see benefit in it because you know, you are fighting with a headgear. So I mean, why not fight like you train like you fight, right?
100%. That's not a bad idea.
Not a terrible ideology. I think it's benefit to it. I don't think it's necessary per se, but I do think I think there's benefit for sure. Bunty S. Eddie, I like knocking you out in Fight Night Champion.
Listen, I know it's an easy one, but it's all good. Hey, listen, as long as I'm on there, I'm happy. Somebody remembers me somehow just because I'm on there getting knocked out, but whatever. That's what I'm most remembered for anyway, because of Vladimir. Even though it was the last 5 seconds or 10 seconds of the 12th round, still more remembered for that and Fight Night than anything else I've done in my career.
That's crazy. Well, that's how you now you're gonna be known for being on the Coach Anthony channel. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Tips on how to use the floor to ceiling ball. I guess he's talking about the double M.
Double M, yeah.
And what are the benefits?
Oh, it's the moving target. You know what I mean? It's a moving target. It's hard to catch that rhythm sometimes too, but you just gotta. It's just practice, man. Keep your hands on it. You know what I mean? It's good for activity, hand-eye coordination. You know what I mean? I at one point I got to the point where I was able to hit it with combinations. I haven't done it in a while. You know what I'm saying? But I was able to hit it like it was a regular bag.
You hit it as good as Roy Jones?
I don't know if it was that good, but I remember one time I was hitting it.
I don't know if I ever see nobody hit it better than Roy Jones. Pause.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Remember Nazem Richardson? I remember one time I was hitting it, and Nazem had turned his head and looked like, oh snap! I thought that was Bear, because Bear, his son Bear, could hit that double end bag like it was a regular heavy bag. He would be tattooing it, blah, 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 all these combinations, and I was doing the same thing because I had worked on it a lot. And he's like, damn, I thought that was Bear over there hitting it. So I got to a point where I got comfortable with it, but it's like, yo, it's just like anything else. Practice it. It's good. It's a good bag to work on, especially if it's not too tight. Because if it's too tight, it's going to be a lot easier. You want it to be a little looser so that the bag can be a little bit weird on some of the rhythms, and then not just hitting it straight. You know what I mean? Throw some hooks in there, throw some uppercuts in there, do some different things, some round shots. It makes it a little bit more difficult, or a lot more difficult than if you were just throwing straights.
And over there, shooters, man, they use them little handballs and them little ass balls. Like they don't use the actual big bag that you know you see in certain. Like at my gym, we had the regular one, but in shooters, man, they used to them things like
tennis ball. Yeah, that's good. I like that too, because it's once again accuracy, hand-eye coordination. It definitely helps, man. Straight up.
Eddie, do you think that the WBC Bridge is going anywhere in boxing?
I feel like with all these junior divisions and all of that, as much as I wish this damn division was around when I was really, really heavy into it, it could gain some ground, but I just feel like the cruiserweight division has to move down again or something if that's gonna really gain any ground. You know what I mean? Maybe down to like 190 again, like Bridgerweight, and then from like I guess 190 down to 176 or whatever, and then the Bridgerweight be anywhere from 191 up to 220 or 225 or whatever the Bridgerweight division is. Right now it's kind of tough because look, who's talking about it? Right now we talk about the heavyweight division and what's going on there, and a dude that was 220 just fought for the heavyweight title. He ain't thinking about the Bridgerweight. He was thinking about the heavyweight crown. So it's kind of hard to think that it will gain ground. I'm hoping something like that does for future guys who are fighting, because man, it's hard fighting these big guys. Pause. You know what I'm saying? It's really difficult, especially if you got a really good big guy, like a really talented, smart big guy that knows how to fight tall.
Eddie, how do you slow down a fighter with fast hands? I don't know if you've ever been in the ring with anybody with faster hands than you, so I don't know if you ever had that problem.
Well, so, I got in there with lighter weight fighters, and some of them obviously a little bit faster, especially the pace. It's timing. If you can time, listen, man, watch Vernon Forrest fight Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley was one of my favorite fighters at the time, and I was like, man, he's gonna smash Vernon Forrest. He's too fast for him. And Vernon Forrest proved timing it will kill speed all day long. Now, if you got timing and speed, then you're a bad boy. But if you can time a guy with speed, you can win. You know what I'm saying?
J Love said he sent me another super chat. I didn't see that super chat, J Love, but we'll still answer this question. If you did, thank you very much. I know you did. You already took care of me today. I sent you another super chat regarding Wilder and other fighters' negative feelings toward him. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that Wilder gets hate from other fighters and negativity? What are your thoughts on it?
I think if it's negativity coming from other fighters, it's probably about the fact that he's not like his skill level. Like when you talk about his skill level and where he's at, and you can talk bad about him all you want and say, well, he ain't got this, he's not good enough to be a heavyweight champion, don't got the skill, but he's there. So you got to give him credit in that. But I don't know if it's unjust when you talk about his skill level because it's a fact, man. He's not where he should be skill wise as a heavyweight champion. But in spite of that, he's still a champion. So as much hate as he's getting, I don't know if it's warranted because he's still winning. You know what I'm saying?
My cousin, big shout out to my cousin Peter Nieves. He was a fantastic amateur, great professional fighter from New York City. Said, "Don't waste no time, Eddie. Real talk from an old timer." So that's a guy who's been in the ring too, Eddie. Giving you some advice.
Hey, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen right away. And that's right. I agree with that. You can't sit around hoping, and you gotta just do what you gotta do. If it comes, you gotta take it immediately. That's true. I ain't getting any younger, no doubt about it.
Right. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I said we'll give you 10 minutes of Q&A with Fast Eddie Chambers. Eddie, like Peter Nieves says, don't waste no time. So I ain't gonna take no more of your time. I know you're an early bird. You wake up at 5 in the morning to handle some other business that you do. And, me and you got to get back in the lab and, drive. We're going to do some of those instructionals and some of those feints and stuff that you was talking about that Bashir has Usyk doing. We're going to do that. Either we're going to do that for a YouTube video or we're going to put that in a course. I think I'm going to just start packaging everything up in courses because we done gave away so much game on this YouTube channel that if they don't know we legit by now, I don't know what else to say.
I will say this, though, man. That feinting, that foot feinting, feints in general, and things of that nature, and like just different walks, and I feel like that could be instructional, in my opinion, because
ain't no could be. It is an instructional.
There's so much game with that. No, there's no doubt. It's like there's so much game with that. There's so much that people don't understand and how it can be so effective. Like when you watch Usyk. And you look at some of the old time fighters, and there's just not a lot of guys that do that anymore, man. It's like it's a whole game. Like you watch Jersey Joe, you watch Ezra Charles, you watch a lot of these dudes back in the day, man. They use so much game with their footwork. It's just when you watch it, it's like, damn, they did all that back in the day. It looks like newer age shit than what we seeing. It's crazy, man. So it's like I feel like these things need to be taught. They need to be brought to the attention of some of these young fighters.
If I open up another gym, do you want to start, me and you start working with professional fighters and build them up and make some world champions? Would you be interested in that? Getting into your 40s, into your 50s, being a world-renowned boxing trainer. You got so much knowledge. You've been in the ring. You could still spar with guys, especially if we're training some middleweights and stuff. You can definitely get in the ring with them because you're as fast as them. You take care of your body. You can also weather the storm because you're a bigger guy naturally. Would you be willing to be a trainer like that and build some serious fighters, with me as a partner in crime? Me and you take on the world.
Without a doubt, I will help you. There's no doubt. But you know where I'm at. I'm in the shadows, baby. I'm gonna let you go ahead and take all the glory because
They're gonna know you're gonna have. They're gonna know you part of this, man.
I'll be part of it. They'll know that. But I don't need to be. And the thing is, man, I know how nasty this business is, and you know how nasty this business is, man. So it's really.
You know what though? You gotta be positive, Eddie, because if you look at things from a negative, you can look at everything that way. So, you have to be positive. Sometimes, I know you've been through some stuff in this game that's negative, and we know that the negativities in this game, it trickles down from the top over to the trainers. Look, if the fighter gets done dirty, and then the fighter does the trainer dirty, the trainer gets it the worst a lot of times because let's just say a fighter's fighting for way less than he should, and then he decides, I ain't paying my trainer. I barely made anything myself. Now the trainer don't get nothing. And I've been there. I know what it feels like for a fighter to not pay, and then you hitting them up. Yo, man, what's up, man? You gonna cut me a check? Like, yo, we work for
what you do?
Like,
oh man, I ain't got the bread on me. Like, yo, hold up.
I know what that feels like.
For free? Huh?
I said I know what that feels like. You know, as a trainer, I learned that early in my careers. You know what I mean? Some of my biggest opportunities started that way. You know what I mean?
But hey, you live and you learn, right? You saw what happened. You know now that ain't happening. It's like, listen, I'm working with you, no doubt about it. But that check needs to be cut right now. Or you got to give me an understanding of something, and you got to give it to me in writing. And that's a shame that you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? To prove what you're worth, or to get what you're worth. It's just unfair. And it's unfortunate for the fighters too. Like I was on the other side. I was the fighter, and people was running their hands in my pocket with glue. And it's just like, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't see it coming. I didn't know what to expect.
You know what, though? We know now how the game goes. We're more educated now. We have the internet now. So we will move totally different. And if we did ever start working with pros and stuff like that and take the game serious, if they was to get with us, they know they would be dealing with some genuine people. Everything will be right there for you to see. You know what I mean? I'm an old school guy like that when it comes to business. Like, look, man, this is what it is. Ain't gonna be no guessing. This is what you know, what you're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. Let's just be straight up with each other. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother topic. Eddie, I know you got things to do, man. I want to say thank you so much for pulling up. You know what I mean? And thank you guys for pulling up too, man. We kept this live at over 100 people the whole time for over an hour and a half, man. That's actually one of my better lives, man. You know, I know there's guys out there doing 1,500, whatever. But I'm very happy and very pleased with over 100 people in this live for over the hour and a half that we've been doing this. So I want to say thank you to everybody who pulled up. I've been getting people who've been purchasing the CA Power Hour. So everybody who's gotten the CA Power Hour and took advantage of the 60% off, thank you guys so much. The super chats, thank you guys so much. And Eddie, man, we got to do another Q&A. We gotta do another Q. I don't know who this guy is, but he's saying something very inappropriate. I gotta put it out there.
Why'd you put it up?
Listen, if you do super chat, I gotta put it up there.
What's up with you, G?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Listen, you got fans, Eddie. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I know this dude, but now I don't know him that well. I don't want people to think about it.
Yeah. I'm so glad for the bigger audience today. Yes, man, I'm definitely very pleased. Oh, yeah, smash the like button. I'll be forgetting to tell people to smash the like button. Share this, man. If you guys enjoyed it, man, you ain't got to get a super chat. You just share it, man. Help the channel grow. Eddie, we got to chop it up. People really like you, Eddie. People
I don't
really
know why.
like you.
I don't know why.
You're a big compliment to Coach Anthony Box, and you make me look good, man. So I need you here more often. You know what I'm saying? We need to do at least once a week, man. I've been saying this, man. Can you commit to 9 p.m. Monday once a week?
I can commit to that. That ain't nothing for me.
Okay, we also got to record. We got to record some stuff, man. We got to start kicking some ass, man. Giving some good instructionals out, and and dropping another course, man. We got to do that.
I ain't never said no. When have you heard me say no to that?
Okay.
All right then. So you know
what said, the great Fast Eddie Chambers. You are the best.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So yeah, guys, make sure you guys go ahead. CA Power Hour, 60% off any of the courses you guys get. You're gonna be happy with. I've really been pushing the how to box the opposite stance because of Usyk's beautiful performance. That everything that we talked about is on that particular course. That's a 100% guarantee. But you already know the deal, guys. Yo, it's crazy because that little slip cross that we worked on, that's what you said was landing all night long.
A lot.
Boop, all night long.
When I was watching it, yo, I just saw so many things.
They probably low key bought the instructional right before the fight. What do you think?
Yeah, it wasn't hurt.
I'm gonna go look, man. I don't trust these guys. They probably watching our stuff.
Hey, what if they did?
Yeah.
Some wild shit like,
yeah, man.
Somebody from Russia bought that shit. Was like, yo, we gonna use this shit. That would be special. That would be if that's not if that's not a selling point for that shit, nothing is.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Sir. What about the Zoom sessions? The Zoom session 60% off? They wasn't, but if you go ahead and get it right now, you will get it 60% off, man. I'll do that for you right now, man. That's a fact. I definitely got you, man. And yo, Eddie, I'm out, man. Thank you for your time, my brother.
No problem, bro. I'll talk to you.
Yes, sir.